Hey, how's it going? This video is going to be talking about a concept that is very early stages of Algebra 1. Those of you that either had Algebra 1, maybe struggled a little bit, or are going to have it next year, you're a little nervous about it. You're going to look through the books this summer, kind of like, oh, I don't know what I got to do. Let's see what I got to do. This is one of the things that you will be introduced to, or maybe have been. Very common early stages of Algebra 1. It's called the F.O.I.L method. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It's called the F.O.I.L method because the word FOIL, F-O-I-L, is actually an abbreviation for the steps that you're going to take to do it. So what I did was I wrote it down here for you. Here's the word FOIL, and each letter stands for something. The F stands for first. The O stands for outside. I is inside, and the L, of course, is last. And then those of you that have never seen it, a lot of you are probably familiar with this already, but those of you that aren't, you're going to be like, what do you mean? First, outside, inside, last, what? Well, when you get to these, I'm sure a lot of you that have either done pre-algebra or Algebra 1 know exactly what this is, this expression. You'll notice you got two sets of parentheses, and in each set, you've got a variable. You may have an exponent. You also have an integer or a whole number, like you see on both sides here. Well, you're going to use the FOIL method to solve these. F-O-I-L, basically. So let's get through that really quick. First of all, this expression says x plus 2 times, because you'll notice when you've got parentheses like this that are neighbors, it means they're multiplying. X squared minus 3, okay? Let's break this down really quick. This x is basically like saying x to the first power. If you want to put a little 1 there to make yourself feel better, be my guest, that's fine. But that's basically x, okay? Plus 2. Now this is not just the 2. This plus sign controls the value of the 2. This is a positive 2 because the plus sign tells you what it is. These parentheses being neighbors means you're going to multiply these two things together. In this set, you've got x squared. Of course, the 2 on this side, this little 2, that's integer. That is a square, or x times x, basically. Minus another integer, which is 3. Now, this is not a 3. This is a negative 3, okay? This minus controls the value of the 3. So once again, x to the first power, positive 2, x squared, negative 3. That's basically what it is. So let's get to the FOIL method. We're going to start with the F, which is first, which is easy to remember because it's the first step. Basically what that means is you're going to take the first terms from each set of parentheses. So in this set, the first term is x, or x1, x to the first power. And in this set of parentheses, it's x squared, okay, x squared. So it's going to be x to the first times, because everything's going to be multiplied. Don't worry about the signs yet. Think of multiplying. When you're dealing with the FOIL method, you're always going to multiply. That is the thing you're doing, okay? So you're going to multiply x to the first times x squared. Now, how do you do that? Those of you that aren't sure, it is not like regular multiplication where you're going to go, oh, well, this is a 2 and this is a 1. 2 times 1 is 2. No, not with exponents. With exponents, you're going to add them. I know it sounds weird, but to multiply exponents, you have to add them. All right? So you're going to add 1 and 2. And of course, 1 plus 2 is 3. So the x stays the same. So it's going to be x to the third, or x cubed is really what it's called. All right, so you've done the first step. Then you're going to do the outside. Well, what are the outside terms? Well, the outside are the ends. So once again, you're going to deal with x. The outside of this one is 3. And it's not just a 3, it's a negative 3 because that minus controls it. So you're going to deal with x to the first again, but this time you're going to deal with negative 3. So then you're going to multiply x to the first times negative 3. And when you do that, you're going to have a minus. You're just going to copy it, basically. You always put the integer first. Minus 3, and then use your x. Now, granted, I put the 1 here just to keep it in my mind, but you really don't need it. It's not necessary. All right? That x is x1, okay? So that's negative 3x, okay? I'm going to erase this a little bit more so you can make it out. Okay? So far I've got x to the third minus 3x. So that's my outside. Inside terms. Well, I got a 2 and I got an x squared. Now this is not just a 2, it's a positive 2 because the plus controls it. So it's positive 2 and then x squared again I'm dealing with because they're on the inside of the whole thing. So now I'm going to multiply these two guys. And when I do that, I keep my plus sign. So it's plus 2, copy the x squared, 2x squared. Okay? So that's that. All right? So now I've done my inside. Finally, the last terms. Those are the last terms in each set of parentheses. Here I got a positive 2. Here I got a negative 3. You're going to multiply regular this time. You're going to multiply not just 2 times 3. You're going to multiply negative 2 times positive 3. And of course, you know that a negative times a positive is a negative. So that negative controls it. So negative 2 times positive 3. Well, if 2 times 3 is 6, just put the negative in front of it. That's going to be a minus 6. So there it is. X to the third, or x cubed, minus 3x plus 2x squared minus 6. I know that's a little bit sloppy, so I'm going to do another one. Don't worry about it. That's basically your steps. You're going to do your first, your outside, your inside, and then your last. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to give you another one. I'll make it less scattered this time, I guess is the word. So let's try let's do this kind. Plus. All right. So now I've got x minus 2 times x squared plus 4. All right. So how are we going to do this once again? I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to start with the f, which is first. My first terms are x, which is really x to the 1, or x first. And this is x squared. These are the first terms of each set of parentheses. So when I multiply these two, don't forget I add them. I treat this like a 1, which I will put on this case. 1, I add them. Remember, 1 plus 2 is 3. So this really becomes x cubed. All right, I gave more space this time, as you can see. All right, now I do my outside, which are the ends. So it's x to the first times positive 4, because it's plus here. So I'm going to add that 4. Just put the x after it. I don't need the 1. The 1 is just for me to remember as I do it, but not to do the actual answer with. Okay, so now I've done the outside. I've done these two. Inside, okay, the inside ones, once again, negative 2 x squared. Negative 2x squared, so I just copy that. Minus 2, x with a little 2 as an exponent, so it's negative 2x squared. So now I've done my inside. The last terms on each set of parentheses. Negative 2 times positive 4. Once again, a negative times a positive is a negative. So instead of being 8, it's going to be negative 8. And there you go. You wind up with x cubed plus 4x minus 2x squared minus 8. And there it is. That's how you do your FOIL method once again. My first one is that. My outside is that. My inside is that. And finally, my last was that. And that's the answer. And that's how you do the FOIL method. Hope that helps.